Yeah, here we go.
You're in tune to the Real Charlie Podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
The Real Charlie Show. The Real
Yeah, here we go.
Charlie Show.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. WNB1. Yeah, here we go.
You're in tune to the Real Charlie Podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
The Real Charlie Show. The Real
Yeah, here we go.
Charlie Show.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to start this off right. So I'm going to do my intro music and then we're going to get right into it. Okay?
Okay, can you hear me okay, Charlie?
Yes. Perfect.
It's funny, I use StreamYard too.
Yeah, it's great. I love
Yes.
StreamYard.
I'm sorry about the confusion on the time. I do apologize for that. I'm not
That's
that
all right.
person. I do apologize for that.
You are here. I'm here. That's all that matters, right?
And make sure you can see the gem and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready when you are. Let's push this over.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Mhm.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. I'm Charlie Perry, and my guest today is Tami Torres, host of the G.E.M, right? And the G.E.M is on YouTube. It's a great podcast, inspirational podcast, definitely something you all should check out right after this podcast. And make sure you like and subscribe her channel. This is definitely one of those go-to, you want to get inspired, you're having a bad day, you definitely check out this host, and I guarantee you, after you listen to her, just about 4 minutes, that's all you need, and you're going to be inspired. So what's up, Tami? How you doing?
Hey, Really Charlie, how's it going?
I'm doing well. I want to thank Mark V. Smith of the
Yes.
process for doing this and setting us up and getting us together, because that dude is, I could talk to him every single day. He talk about inspiration. He is that dude.
Yes, he is.
And so just like you are,
Thank you.
doing, I'm going to make sure that we are public on Facebook so we
Mhm.
can share everything.
Yes.
We are on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and we are on YouTube on the Really Charlie YouTube channel. So, all right, let me just log out of Facebook, log back on, and then we will go right into it. Let's see. What I want to do is, I actually have a few questions, but I want to just kind of talk. Let's break the ice
Yeah.
a little bit. All right.
Absolutely.
So, how'd you meet Mark?
So I met Mark. We both worked together at the same company at a particular time. Like about a few months ago, we were working for the same organization, and we connected. Um, instantly through workforce development initiatives. And when I say, I mean, he has such a big heart, and so do I. And so, big hearted people that really truly
Mhm.
love people, love to serve people, and love to help as much as possible. That instantly connected us. We wound up talking. I shared part of my testimony with him. It literally blew his mind, and he was like, "You need to be doing more public speaking and doing this." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get into more spaces and stuff like that." And he was like, "Man, I'm gonna put you onto some things." He shared a little bit of his testimony with me, and like literally, it just took off from there. And so a new friendship began, and I've been blessed by him in so many ways with, the connections that he has. He has literally put me on to a lot of wonderful connections, including you, Charlie. I truly appreciate your invite to be on your platform. I can't wait till you come on the G.E.M. And it's
I'm
just,
ready.
and it's truly been a blessing. So shout out to Mark Smith. Yes,
Yes,
with the process.
I love that dude, and we connected on several occasions, and so he just instantly. I mean, without I think it was a website. Actually, hold on, I think I got something going there. There we go. Um, I connected with him and through a website that connects host and guest together, and that's how him and I got connected. And I mean, through him, I gained probably 10 friends. If I can, yeah, I think that's a educated guess, But he just blessed, and so I get to see people like you on my podcast make my podcast beautiful. So and so let me tell you a little bit about this podcast. We it's been going on for since the pandemic, and we probably I forget, but I'm over 300 episodes. The and the reason why it's about that number is because I'm consistent and do it every single week. And that's why I try to tell everyone that if you're going to do a podcast, make sure you do it every week or every bi-weekly. After you go, if you go any longer than that, you're not going to keep your fan base. So, you need to just keep on doing it. And we are part of WNB1 Radio, which is a Black and Latino owned internet radio station in downtown New Bedford, Massachusetts. And we have shows, we have hip hop music 24 hours, 7 days out of the week. And you can add WNB1 Radio to your Apple or Android devices. So, but everyone check out WNB1.com, and that will give us everything. So, all right, let's get into this. Let's get into my guest. So, we're going to highlight this beautiful host, and let's see. I have a few things here I want to put up here.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's see. I have some questions that I quickly jotted down. Not going to get to all of them because it's just too much. We'll have to save that for part 2, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're on YouTube, and are you a weekly show?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just started doing weekly because prior I was like more monthly or sporadic.
Yep.
Right now it is weekly every Thursday night from starting at 8 p.m. Central Time, Standard
Yeah.
Time, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. You definitely have to be weekly. I'm
Yes.
just giving you that. You because how can you aspire anybody every other week? How can you do that? It's too much time, right? So, all right, let's see. Well, Tami, welcome. And can you share? Well, you already shared a little bit about your background, but what inspired you to become a part of the G.E.M and in your community? What inspired you to do this? To
Yeah.
kind of do all this that you're doing.
Absolutely. So my tagline is inspired 24/7. So I created that tagline because I was like, originally during COVID, I was just doing videos, inspiring people, telling people, just positive things to keep them uplifted and things like that. And I created the tagline. I was like, I'm here to inspire 24/7. And that just became a thing. And so from that, I, would be dropping gems in different types of, uh, exchanges that I would do, whether it was in video, whether it was through like my radio show and different things like that. I would just be dropping gems, and I didn't realize like people would grab those gems and they would be like, "Oh, that what you just said, I like that. Say that again." And so I was like, "Oh, the gem." I was like, "Okay, if I ever went into podcasting, or if I wanted to do something in entertainment in any way, being an influencer, I wanted it to be called the Gem." And I said, "Well, what does the Gem?" Because I'm like Mark, I love acronyms. And so the GEM, the G.E.M, is the Grand Enterprises Movement. I started this organization in March of 2023, last year. And I wanted it to be a place where podcast hosts, influencers, people that inspire people could come and motivate people, inspire people, uplift them, and re-energize folks, because after the pandemic, people were in like a funk. So I wanted it to be a movement of inspiration, a movement of people inspiring people every single day, and sharing our personal testimonies is what inspires other people. Because when people know, that you've been through some things and then you overcame, and now you're on the other end of it and you can see God's goodness, man, people they'll buy into that. They'll buy into
Exactly.
that. So sharing that testimony and people inspiring people is what created and birthed the GEM. And so the Grand Enterprises Movement is just that. We are people inspiring people each and every single day.
Okay. Peace. I love that. I like you use the word grand. A lot of people kind of get away from that and don't know the definition of grand. And so we got to keep on. Words are easy. I mean, words are very influential or influencing. You can actually, if you pick the right stuff, things are going to work out. Just this, really, Charlie, right?
Yes.
It's really Charlie because my wife yelling at me, really, Charlie, doing this, doing that, it's, or the grandkids saying, really, Papa, that's where it comes from. But it's catchy, and I'm walking in the streets, doing things, having conversations with family or friends, and and they don't hesitate to say, really, Charlie, so. But I actually I looked at most of your videos, and
thank you.
Definitely want to share many things. I'm going to continue to do that. I'll be on and off your page, whether it's your YouTube channel or Facebook, now that we're connected through Facebook. Yes. And basically share it, and maybe I'll tag you if I see something that may catch your attention, or maybe bring it to your attention. It could be another inspiring thing, and maybe a subject that you can talk about on your podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? Shout out to you, because like the other day, you really lifted my spirits. I don't even know if you even realized that when you told me to never stop podcasting. Yes. I really appreciate that message the other day, because, sometimes we don't know if people are watching, if they're listening. I mean, we can look at the analytics and kind of tell what it's doing or not doing. But I think it don't really give, some people don't have their things turned off. So you can't tell if they're watching, right? And so, just when you sent that message to me after I posted a show that I did, I really, really appreciated that. And thank you for encouraging me, because that's what we all need, is that encouragement. And it keeps us, feeling fresh and knowing that what we're doing is where we're purpose driven to be, so thank you.
Exactly. No, well deserved. And I really, really mean it from the heart. You. And, just keep on. I know I'll watch. I know as soon as I see some, I get that alert. I'm like, boom, check it out.
Thank you. And
but-
likewise, because I'm subscribed. So when you post, I'm like, all right, now the ding, the notification is going to hit.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
we use the same platform. So it's like,
Yeah.
I love that.
StreamYard is
Is
been great
it?
for me,
Yes.
and all the others I tried, and I just can't get away from it. Maybe I want to call it my first child. It's the first one. The first platform that I
Yep.
experienced, and I actually just can't get away from it. I tried all the others, and it's nothing like StreamYard. They've been very, very good to me, especially the support. You really have questions, use the support. It's really, really useful.
Yeah.
All right, Tammy, let's see. Let's go into some cultural connections. All right.
Yes.
How do you think your experiences within the hip hop culture have shaped your perspective and approach to life?
Oh man. That is a really good question. So at the age of 12, I didn't realize that my poetry was actually
You're a poet too?
I'm a poet too, yes. That's my first.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I my poetry would turn into songs. So one day I was talking to my dad, who is he's a former rapper, and he used to run. I'm from Queens, New York, and he used to run with LL Cool J, Mikey D. Shout out to all of them. Some of them I've interviewed, or they're on Mikey D, Tony Cypher Sound. All of those folks I've interviewed in my first season, and my dad was a hip hop artist, and so one day he was visiting because we didn't live in the same house at the time, and he was like, "Hey, what you been up to?" I'm like, "I'm writing poetry," and he was like, "Let me hear it." So I let him hear it, and he's like, "Oh, this is good." And he was like, "Well, what you trying to do?" I said, "I want to sing." He was like, "Well, let me hear you sing," and I let him hear it sing. He was like, "Baby girl, that ain't it. You need some vocal training." I was like, "Dang, thank you." So then he was like, your poetry can turn into songs, and you could rap it. And he was like, look, like he took one of my poems, and he's like, look, he read this poem that I had won a national award for, and he was like, da 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 da, and started rhyming my poem. And I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, yes, you can. And so at that moment, hip hop changed my life. And when I say that is because at that time, I then decided, maybe 2 years later, I was 14, I decided to go live with my father and become a full-time artist. Like I was a full-time artist. I was going to school, but I was a full-time artist. He did artist development with me. He introduced me to Corey Rooney, who's the head of Sony Records at the time. And I was part of a group. And then I branched off to be an independent artist. And my father, with my artist development, helped me to really get into being a hip hop artist, right? So I signed my first record deal when I was 21 maybe, and I opened up for a lot of artists, like Ja Rule, the Lost Boys, the Lox, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, Brand Newbie and the Beat Nuts. I did video shoots with Fat Man Scoop. I did Fat Joe and Big Pun, and a whole lot of artists. I was now that female artist that was like on the trajectory, right? So I got signed by Big Fish Records, and man, I was like, man, this is it. Like I got my first hip hop deal, and absolutely, I fell in love with hip hop at the age of 12, and from that moment on, it's been with me. I decided I wanted to go to college, so I went to college. I wanted to do fashion and all of the other things. So I started to like kind of not fade because the record deal that I had, the label actually put me on the shelf, but they used me as a writer because I'm an awesome writer. I write to this day. I love writing. I write poetry. I write songs. It just sits, I just write because that's how, when you're a creative like that, your mind just works like that and you can't get away from it. So I have notebooks of material and just some poetry and rhymes, and not just rhymes, but I write rock music and gospel and all types of genres because I'm a musically inclined person, right? So my father's like, do something with it. I'm like, Dad. I had lost my zeal when my label shelved me and put me on a shelf, but had me writing for other artists, but never putting out my material. So that kind of discouraged me. So probably around the age of like 26, 27, I fell back and came out of music. And then in my 30s, I started doing the artist development and started working with artists, up and coming artists, and doing that type of stuff and doing the same thing that my father did for me with up and coming artists. And eventually relocating and coming out here to the DMV area, I stopped doing that. But it's definitely something I would love to get back into eventually. But until then, I'm going to influence people through my podcast, through the radio show, and just do my thing that way. So the culture has definitely impacted me significantly and continues to impact me each and every single day.
Awesome. I didn't even know that. And that's amazing because it just kind of adds to it, puts a little sprinkles on the icing, on the cake. And I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
The Poetry Pie is me. I go by the name of A Poetic Pulse, and just goes from the heart. And just I write every day, and just try to, it's that I got to do it. I have to get something out. I have to get something out or something I see. I have to just write about it. And it's sometimes, most of the time, it's never about me. It's just writing it and just letting it out and letting it go. So, but I want to give you, I want to give you 5 stars for being another poet and an artist and also a mentor, because you were definitely doing the right things. So the family raised you right, and you learn. You listen and learn. All right, let's go. I got another question here. Can you share a meaningful moment or lesson learned from your interactions with Black culture, with the Black culture community? What have you learned through the Black culture community that has been most memorable or meaningful? What
I learned is, and I know people say these things as a cliche, but to really embrace the skin that we're in. I never dated outside of my race. I'm not saying this to shun anybody that does. But when I say that, is having an appreciation for who we are as a people, keeping who we are solid, with when we do who we do business with, who we have children with, who we have family, grow our families with, different things like that. And really, what I would say, grow and build the culture, because we've had a lot of watering down of our race from slavery, and all of that. And for me, while my parents always taught us to love anybody, like you love, love don't have no color, right? We don't see color. I just appreciate Black men. I appreciate, what the Black man brings to the table, and even with his flaws, and with his, his baggage and everything else that now society is telling us, that we need to look at Black men a little differently, because where are they? They're not standing up in the household. They're not being this. They're not being that. Whatever. I appreciate the Black man for who he is in different points of time in his life, right? Yeah. Because I know that what stigma and society has done to the Black man, and now, empowering the Black woman, while trying to diminish the Black man, to me, does the Black man a disservice. So for me, it's all about empowering our brown community to love one another, despite whatever baggage or flaws or whatever the case may be, and never take our eyes away from that, because we are kin. We are I don't know. I don't want to go too deep, but we have to keep our culture rich. And so if anything that I learned is really keeping our culture rich by really doing what we see other cultures do. A lot of cultures don't marry outside of their culture a lot. Mm-hmm. Asians, Middle Eastern folks, different folks, they don't marry typically they don't marry outside of their culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we do, or a lot of people come into our culture to,
Yep.
but we've been watered down so much, and then we have to again keep our culture rich by, sticking within it. It's understand. I don't want to. I don't want to go too deep.
I agree. And it's and I bring up all these questions because it's people. I like interviews and I like a conversation. So as we're talking, some people are listening.
Mm-hmm.
So it may tip off and it might spark a conversation within their homes and just like you said, inspire 24/7, so that's good. You get an A+ on that.
They're like, I'm passing the test.
Yeah, passing the test, Let's see. This is the third question on cultural connections. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How do you believe spirituality and faith intersect with the personal growth and empowerment? How does that, what do you believe? Is spirituality and faith, is it something that's very important? And in some it's not, and I just want to know, what does it do for you as far as that empowerment?
Absolutely. I do consider myself a, spiritual being having a natural experience, right? As they
Yes.
say. The spirit dwells in and resides within each and every single one of us. As far as spirituality, I do believe in the Most High. I know that the Most High, I believe that the Most High exists. I know that because of the faith that I've had and the experiences that I've had in life. The experiences have led to increased faith, right? So, we find ourselves in situations where either we shouldn't have made it, or, our story could have really been different. Had it not been for the love of the Most High, right? And so when I look over my life and I look at the things that I've been through and things that I've experienced, and I realize that, and it's just like the footprints in the sand poem, and one of my favorite poems, every time I look back over my life and I thought I was walking alone, it was actually two sets of footsteps in the sand. And that second set of footsteps was always there. Even when I wasn't in any religion or anything like that, when I didn't know myself as a spiritual being and all that, like when I didn't really truly know who I am to the Most High, and I didn't understand all of that because I just didn't have the understanding. I was situations that we were in, even as kids or as a young adult, and things that I had gone through. It should have or could have went different had it not been for the love of the Most High. And I say that because he wasn't through with me yet. And so he would show, and I say he because that's how I refer to it, the Most High. But I remember times when I didn't know that I would make it through a certain situation or whatever the case may be, and having blind faith and not knowing what the outcome was going to be. It helped me to really, when things worked out for my good, or ultimately for the good of the overall situation, I was like, man, I didn't do that. It wasn't Tami. It wasn't me. Even though I wanted to lean on my own understanding, it wasn't me, but it was the spirit that dwells within me, and the Most High, protecting me against certain things, certain attacks of the enemy. And I say that because, and I know people don't believe in, the enemy, but we have to understand there's the good and evil, the yin and a yang type of a thing. And so when there is a negative or demonic attack against us, things don't go well, or because of life decisions and choices, things don't sometimes go well. And when we hand it over to the Most High, and we have faith that He gonna work it out for our good, it typically works out that way. And that's where we see his grace, his mercy, the favor. We see his hand increase in our faith. We see, situations that we didn't know how we was going to get up out of that situation, turn around for our good. That increased my faith. That helped me to realize that it's more important to have a personal relationship with the Most High, and not so much this whole idea of religion and being classified as, at the time, Christian or whatever the case may be. And I still, again, I identify with some of the Christianity ways, but I am a spiritual being, and I look at things a lot different than I did before. And I am a minister of the gospel, but I teach it in a different way than in traditional church.
I get it. Because no matter where you go, if you have that faith, you can go in all parts of the world, and you can relate to some of the things they're doing. You've never been there, and you say, well, I understand what they're trying to do. I get it. I see, and so that's what keeps me grounded and keeps me with my faith and trying to understand that, someone's leading me. I'm going to keep on going. And, there's times that I don't think I would have been this old and lasted this long if God wasn't by my side. So
that's right. That's right.
Great job, Tami. Great job. Love it. Let's see. We're going to go into something. I got a few more questions here. And I'm trying to make, like I said, I just want every question to be a conversation for someone else that's listening. By the way, we are on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube on the Really Charlie podcast channel. So check us out. And later I'll put this on Spotify. I'll put it on Spotify, which I like. I like tomorrow, like I tell all my guests, I'll listen to this podcast as I'm driving. I drive a school bus. I put my earbuds on and I listen, and I drive and just listen to some things that I have missed. And you got me engaged, so I'm not missing anything yet, but I guarantee you tomorrow I'm going to find out something I missed.
I do the same thing. I do the same exact thing. I listen back so many times. I'm like obsessed with it.
I love it. All right, let's see. What role do you think entrepreneurship plays in empowering individuals and communities?
Man, it plays a huge role. I'm an entrepreneur. I work. I'm also an entrepreneur as well. But I think that, entrepreneur, especially nowadays, there is such a wonderful gift in being an entrepreneur, not just the financial gain, but just the diversity in business equity and, us being able to really build wealth for ourselves in ways that we could have never imagined before. It takes limits off of our financial legacy that we leave behind for our children and our grandchildren and those to come. Entrepreneurship plays a huge deal in the Brown community, but also across our nation in any community, because it has now literally opened the door for people to experience and have things that they have could have never imagined, and I love seeing that we have so many people that are entrepreneurs now since COVID, and that they are thriving in business and literally creating new career pathways for other people because they started their business. So I absolutely love it. I believe that I have children, and my oldest daughter, she just graduated from college. We just established her, part of her graduation gift from me was establishing her business for her. So she's coming out with a skincare line, beauty line, and we are going full launch in the fall. And because we're trying out different chemistry and different, chemicals and things like that to make sure, everything works. But literally, she's working and she's going to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah. Love it.
That's really honestly, like that's the push. And traditional jobs are fine too, because I've worked a traditional job for years and still do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So and it's part of just me diversifying my income. Like I'm not just the entrepreneur, even though I do that full time. I also work for someone else, and I'm a director over a department. So it works both ways.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep inspiring, and then what that leads to, your daughter inspiring and being that mentor for her friends, her peers, her family, that are younger than her. So I love that. Just keep planting that seed, and they'll become just as good as you, or even better, because we always want them to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go
Are
to
you an
some.
entrepreneur in any way?
Well, I'm actually gonna get ready to start a business very
Mm-hmm.
soon, within the next 30 days. Something I've been procrastinating, put it on hold, and let's just say around the summertime, things get a little limited when I'm
Yes.
driving that little school bus, and
Right.
so my hours are smaller, and that means my checks are smaller, and
Mm-hmm.
so I just said that the summer of 2025 will be much better for me, and
Mm-hmm.
because I'm always going to be able to turn back to myself instead of relying on somebody else to give me that money. I'm going to have it on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and what you get out of it is the hard work that you put into it.
That's right.
And so I'm ready. I'm ready this time. I tried it. Well, I put it on hold a couple of times, and was just reluctant. And I said, not this time. I'm better. I'm more motivated now than I ever been. And sometimes we go to school for an education. Then we go to higher education
Mm-hmm.
to perhaps think that we are going to have more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
More financial stability and all that. So I did all that. And then when I finally look at it and look back, I said, why did I go to school? Why did I pay all that money?
Yes.
And here I am, So I said, I'm going to have to put that to use.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you didn't know, I'm a 30-year police veteran, the police department in Bedford. So I did 30 years.
Wow.
And finally had enough and said, that's it. That's enough. And so all that experience that I had,
Mm-hmm.
it's been on the shelf for 6 years. And so now I'm going to put that into place and do some private investigations and try to do things like that. So
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, awesome.
So, yeah, and by the way, you got a Gladys Knight smile, right?
Oh, thank you.
You got that. You can see it. It's right there.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see. Inspirational insights. What advice would you give to someone seeking inspiration and motivation in their life? This is in your wheelhouse, so
Yes. Well, I always tell people, just like be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Don't limit yourself by what other people think of you, but look in the mirror and think and look at yourself and really think about, what do I think of me, right? And if you don't see anything good, if you're like, oh, I don't see anything good, I don't know what I see in me, or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna need you to seek counsel because it's real. It's real. I remember being in a place like that where I didn't always think highly of myself, but it took time to because of bullying, different things, right? And it takes either one, you go seek professional help, or you seek spiritual help, which is really different, y'all. And in that, something will eventually click to where you're like, what? When I look in the mirror, I love what I see. And I'm not talking about the physical. I'm talking about who I am on the inside. I love the spirit that looks back at me when I look in the mirror. I love that I have, a positive vibration that I put into the universe. So love yourself and love the person that you are. You know, you don't have to have all the best things, the material things and all of that stuff to be the person that you are. People are going to attract to you naturally if you're your authentic self, because people like naturally, you know, flowing people that are
Mhm.
not fictitious, people not, you know, they're all made up and all of that, but people that are tangible, that they can
Yes.
reach and be like, you know what, that person, literally just met somebody. I'm always meeting people, but I meet new people because I always speak. I say hi, you know, I'll give a
Mhm.
kind word. You know, don't be shy to be yourself, and whatever that may look like. If you're introverted, be your introverted self, right? But know that we need the exchange of people and the flow of people to really help us in our being, in fulfilling our purpose. So just be yourself, and don't, you know, unapologetically. I heard somebody saying that the other day, and I was talking to somebody on my podcast. She said, "Be your true and authentic self." I echo that. So that is
Yeah.
what I would say, you know, and be inspired by you first, and then other things around you. Like we can find inspiration in so many different ways, you know.
Yes.
So don't limit yourself.
I agree. I agree. Well said.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Two more questions, right? And then I'll
Mhm.
do my usual ending. Um,
Mhm.
can you share a quote or phrase that resonates with you and why? And I think you already did. You just did it, right?
I
So
was
you just did it.
inspired 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. So, how do you stay energized and motivated to continue making a positive impact?
I think about where I came from, right? And I look at the situations in which I grew up in. I grew up in poverty. I grew up, you know, in with a parent addicted to drugs and alcohol. You know, grew up in a different, you know, just different type of environment. And so when I look back over my life and I look back over like my childhood, you know, young adulthood and things like that, um, you know, I look at it as truly a blessing, because I know that I had to experience those things to be able to be here on the Really Charlie show, to be able to
Yes.
share God's goodness, to be able to share, you know, the ways that he's made for me, the promises that he's kept, the different, you know, experiences that I've had in life that allowed me to now be an entrepreneur, be, you know, someone who can inspire others to be entrepreneurs, to be influencers and do music and other types of things. I'm only here because I had experiences, right, that helped me to realize that I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength, right? That I could literally do anything that I wanted to do, right? And those experiences, you know, they say experience is the best teacher. It really is. Those experiences helped me to be who I am today. God fearing, just, you know, loving people just for who they are. Like I don't meet people and think of like who they not. I just take people as they are. Whoever you
Yeah.
present, even if it's your representative, I like your representative, right? If you show me otherwise, then you show me otherwise, right? But I believe in just loving on people, and not like you know, shunning people, or like, I
Yeah.
don't know, snooting people or whatever the case may be. I think that the way that I present, I always present a friendly smile, a warm welcome. I'm almost like, hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm always the person in the room, like lighting up the room. From what people always tell me and from what I know of myself, I'm a people person. I love people. So I go in, I'm showing love, but it's only because I know what it felt like not to show love. I know what it felt like not to have people like you for no reason at all. I know what it felt like to be the person sitting by yourself. I know what it felt like. So because of those experiences, like I said, your testimony definitely, you know, brings you to that moment in life where you realize your purpose and how you can operate it in it, and be the best version of yourself, which then helps people to be the best version of themselves, because they know you done been through some things and they know you overcame them, and now today you're sitting in front of them not because you're perfect or whatever the case may be, but because you're an overcomer. you're an overcomer, and you know what I mean? And you can
Exactly.
speak from a place of experience, and guess what? I'm not going to sugarcoat a thing. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sugarcoat a thing. And so you're going to get the real Tami Torres.
I love it. And you know what? It's all right. So you just talked about, being that light in the room, right? That spark. So as you come and you're approaching me and you see me and you give me a smile, say hello, how you doing? And I'll give you anything. So
Mm-hmm.
what you would do is probably go right to the next person. And that's what I do. I go right to the next person. Okay, you didn't like my smile? Good. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll smile at you again.
That's right.
I'll move over to the next person and smile again and hold a conversation. And that's my intention. That's what I see me to kind of get there and bring that smile to someone and have a good day, and I've changed some people's routines where they wasn't saying hi or goodbye to anybody, especially at work. They were just they were just like subways. Everybody, got subways going all different directions. Nobody saying hi to anybody, and I'm like, say good morning. Hold the door
Right.
for the next person. How you doing? How's your weekend? Nice shirt, nice hair. And my uncle, he used to do this, and it's kind of cold, but it's he always knew when someone wasn't listening to him, right? So people go and they talk to each other and they say, hey, how you doing? And he would just say, I got cancer. And he would keep walking. And they said, oh, that's good. They wasn't listening, right? They wasn't listening. And then he would say, did you just hear what I said? And then they would have that conversation. And pay it, people got to pay attention, right? Because that might be a real life situation, right?
Absolutely.
And you're having a conversation and someone says that to you and you don't catch it, and then, who knows if that's the last conversation you have. Many of my family and friends had, the last conversation. I always end something with, I love you. I end the conversation, I love you.
Yeah.
So I can, move on if something does happen to me or them and say, well, at least I said I love you,
That's
and
right.
they know that and I know that. So
That's good. That's good.
Tami, you my expectations of you are actually right here in this podcast. This was just a wonderful podcast.
Thank you.
And a great conversation. Love the answers. And my routine question to my guest towards the tail end of the podcast, I asked you, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's so many awesome people. Man. The young lady that I just interviewed, Monica Pickett.
I've seen that.
Monica Pickett, reach out to her. She is, oh my gosh, her testimony is truly, truly amazing. Yes. Monica M. Pickett, definitely reach out to her. She's on my social media. She's truly, truly amazing. Her testimony is the bomb. She got so much goodness to share. So I would say her. She's great.
I will.
And definitely that. Mark Smith. Bring Mark Smith.
Yeah, I got to bring him up here again. We have and only because he has leveled up since I've seen him. He was doing great things already, but now he's at another level. He's he doesn't use that Mark V. Smith for him. He uses it for a reason.
And that's right.
No, he is, and when he had told me that story, he said, I use the V, I have to, it's a common name, and now that I think of it, he has the perfect middle initial to distinguish or separate him from everyone else.
And that's right.
It could be a V, it could be a Z, or even a Y, right? One of those letters that kind of separate him, but I definitely got to get him back on. I have some slots available, And
Mm-hmm.
so um, I want you
That's
to,
awesome.
see when you see your dad, give him a high five, tell him thank you for
Yes,
raising such a beautiful person. And, you know, we got to do this again. We definitely got to do
absolutely.
this again.
Absolutely.
Where can we
This is
find
definitely. So first of all, before I tell people where they can find me, I just want to say thank you, Charlie, for having me on today. It's truly a
you? Well,
blessing. I love, people who inspire people, and that's exactly what you are doing here, just with your message and just, your positive, upbeat attitude and disposition. Definitely a plus. Thank you for having me. I truly, truly appreciate it. People can find me on all social media outlets at I am Tami Torres. I am TamiTorres. You can also follow me at the GEM, the Grand Enterprises Movement, or the GEM, /GEM, or what
mhm.
any variations. You'll find me. If you find me at I am Tami Torres, you're gonna find me at the GEM.
I
So
love it. I love it. I'm gonna
yes.
what about merchandise? You have merchandise? 'Cause
No, I do. I have t-shirts, guys.
see
So,
that?
yep, I have the GEM t-shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah,
it's
I do.
the Grand Enterprises Movement. It
All right.
is a gem with diamonds. So, yep,
I like
yep,
that. I'm a
yep. So,
I'm a t-shirt person, and I especially when I'm on the podcast, I like to wear someone else's
well,
merchandise.
send me your size. I'll send you a t-shirt.
All right,
and,
I'm gonna
and your
do that.
mailing address. Email me. Text me
I'll
your.
do that.
Yep.
I will do
Yeah,
that.
I will send you. Yes, wear my t-shirt on the Really Charlie Show.
That's it.
Be like,
So
yes.
when's your next show?
My next show is on Thursday, y'all. So
Yeah.
Thursday, you can catch me live at 8 p.m. I have an amazing young lady coming on, and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. I'm on YouTube. I'll be live on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I'll be posting just like you do, posted on
Hmm.
Spotify the next day after I reviewed 1,000 times.
Yeah. Hmm.
And so I just started doing Spotify. So people were like, why
Yeah.
don't you have it on? Because I just was doing YouTube for the first season. So this second season, I am doing using StreamYard to download my audio and now put it, do my edits on my edit platform. And then I put it into Spotify. And so I
Yes.
like it. I like
Yeah, I
Spotify.
do. I do.
Yep.
I do.
So,
It's
yeah.
nice, especially where
Hmm.
StreamYard gives you that
The option. Yeah.
capability. Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's just amazing. That's why I
Yeah.
love it.
Yep.
We can do this anytime. You
Okay.
can do it once a month. I don't care. What if there's something you want to talk about, we can do that. And
Okay.
the one thing I want to leave you with is I have about 15 books written,
Wow.
and I have a very nice shelf, but I don't have Tami Torres's book on my shelf. So where's your book?
Mhm.
Where's your book? You got all that. You talked about all the writing, right?
it is in draft form.
You put it.
Literally. It's a
Um,
series. So I'm literally you could don't make me cry. I'm literally writing a series of books, right? And I have literally, like you said, put it on the shelf and haven't I put a little bit in here and there, but I haven't fully done it and written it. And literally when I tell you the Lord placed this in my path, the vision for the series of books a few years ago. And I
mm,
have literally kept it on the shelf. And because you said that, that is nothing but the Lord working in and through you to
yeah.
tell her what I said.
Yes. Exactly.
She need to
So
hear it from a stranger. She need to hear it from, a
that's
new
right.
friend,
I,
She need to hear it from
I
a new
want.
friend.
Yeah.
She
I
don't
want
hear me
a
no more.
want a hard book, because
Wow.
eventually books are gonna be gone. Everything's gonna be digital.
Yeah,
So
digital. Mhm.
I need you to
A
get it done.
paper. Yes.
Don't let
Oh man.
just make it months, not years. I don't want to be talking about this in 2025, or
I know.
2026,
Hmm.
when we're actually telling your daughter to make her own book. We should get her book done before you do, right?
Right.
Um, and
Yeah.
well, series are no joke, so you really have to
Hmm.
be right on point with that.
Yeah.
And I have a girl, a friend in Maryland that she did a nice series and amazing, and now she's working on it where it's possibly going to be a movie, right? And so
Hmm.
I am very proud of her because she is that inspiration. You know, she can inspire herself and motivate herself, and she's got good material. But
Nice.
listen, you're a deep person. You're a great host. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
you got to keep on podcasting. Never quit podcasting,
Hmm.
because it's a conversation, and there may be some uncomfortable conversation. Somebody like you can bring them up and and guide many people
Yeah.
to right direction, or listen to another perspective. So you keep on doing what you're doing, and
Thank you.
I'm
You
gonna keep on.
too.
I'm gonna. I love this.
I
This is. I
know,
wish I
right?
can do it every day. I wish I
Me
can do
too. Me
it
too.
every
Charlie, I'm
single
telling
day.
you. I wish I could just be on here as a full-time job. Like,
Yeah.
somebody pay me to
Mhm.
do this, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I actually want to do my own TV series. Once I create the book, I could come up
Yeah.
with a series, right?
Yes. Yes, you can. See
Yeah.
that? It's
And
holding you back.
yes, it really is. It really is.
So
Thank you.
there's one thing I'm gonna do is I'll see you on Thursday night. I'll be
Yes.
watching,
Thank you.
reviewing. Um, and I got a quick question for you, right? Here
Mhm.
we are. We're host a podcast, and don't you? Isn't it? I mean, I get so upset because like our fellow our fellow
Mm.
host, right? And then we have contradicting, like our schedules don't meet up. We're doing a show and then they're doing a show, and you got to do it on replay. But I don't want a replay. I want a live version of the show, And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like juggling. All right, let me listen to this show today. I'll listen to that show later on.
Hmm.
And there's so much conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I will listen to you. I'll
Thank you. Thank you.
share everything that you possibly have on the Really
Thank
Charlie
you.
podcast uh, page on Facebook,
Thank
and
you.
keep making that magic. And I am so happy to meet you, and keep showing.
Likewise. Likewise. Thank you so much. And please make sure you share the video. I'll share, any material that, I definitely vice versa. Like, this is definitely a reciprocated relationship.
Yeah, you got it. You
Yes.
got it. And
Yes.
but we'll add to this relationship and make it better.
Absolutely.
As time goes by, and but you ever need
Yeah.
me, you got my number. Just text me,
Yes.
and you have any other guests that you want me to that you can send my way, just send them my way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, you're the best, and keep on being that gem, because
Thank you.
you're shining. All right,
Thank you. Thank you.
all right, my new
All right.
friend, hang in there.
You too. Take
All right,
care.
take
All
care.
right.
All right. That was Tami Torres, the gem, right? There's her name right there on the screen, host of the gem on YouTube. She said Thursday night on YouTube, she's definitely going to be doing her thing with her new show. I mean, her podcast and new guest. She's great person. Known her about, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, through another friend of mine. And I am very happy that Mark V. Smith had sent her my way. All right, everyone. This is the Really Charlie podcast on WNB1 Radio, and at WNB1.com. Don't forget, add WNB1 Radio to your devices, Apple and Android, and listen to music 24 hours, 7 days out of the week. Next Tuesday, let's see. Right now, we don't have anybody right now. Summertime keeps a lot of people busy, but I will let you know. I will let you know what's going to happen next Tuesday. And tomorrow night we have Fentanyl Facts and Stories. Paula Young will host that show. I won't be on it. Maybe on in the beginning, just a quick 1-2 minutes, and then I have something that I'm involved in doing. And we also have the Say What podcast on Monday. That's hosted with myself and Phil Young on Mondays. We kind of filtered it down to be, probably monthly, only because Phil is dealing with some things on personal level. So we have to do it probably once a month until things get straightened out, and then we'll pick it up again and be on every Monday at 7:30 on Facebook Live. All right, everyone. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to my friends and family at WNB1 Radio. Thank you for, this platform and this and everything that you do for me in this podcast. I really appreciate it. All right. Don't forget WNB1.com. All right, y'all. I'll see you next Tuesday, same time, 6 p.m. Have an open window between 6 and 9 that I'm doing different things. So whether I'm playing music or have a guest on there. And all right, take care. I talked enough. Tami Torres, don't forget, host of the G.E.M on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to end this podcast with my favorite song by Lionel Peter Walker. And here we go.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.